Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Plastic Adventures podcast show, internet sensation. I'm here with Steve, my co-host. I'm Doug, and today we're going to talk about toys. We haven't had a chance to talk about toys recently.
I know it's been like 2 weeks, and welcome back, all those double digits worth of people who watch this show.
We love you.
We miss you. Yeah, we promise we're going to be better to you, baby. We've always loved you. Don't talk like that. Come on.
We want you. Come to us. We're trying to make good content for you.
Yeah, in that week that we missed, some very, very important things have been happening in the toy world. So
they did.
I think you're about busting at the seams with a bunch of really great Joe information. So let's rock and roll there, dude.
Yeah, so the last, like you said, the last week has been really, really busy with toy news. A lot of stuff came out a lot of places recently, but the thing that I'm really, really jazzed about is G.I. Joe Classified. So, before talking about the reveals, they did talk about one thing that was weighing heavily on my mind, specifically with Hasbro recently, which is their shipping department and their the receiving, right? So we got good news on that. It has been pretty crazy lately, as everybody knows, but they finally got some movement on that. And so people who did pre-orders for like Storm Shadow and Spirit, they should start seeing those any day now. We actually got our notice for the Cobra Officer, Cobra Trooper, that is ready to, ready to ship. They're ready to do all that. So I was really excited to get that. So we should be seeing the shipping notice like any day now.
Am I allowed to raise the roof, or am I only allowed to brace it?
Just hold it.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Just hold it up a little bit. There we go.
Oh my God! O-ring Cobra Trooper and Officer 2-pack.
Yeah. So that's good news to me. Like on top of everything else, which is really, really cool. I'm just excited that these things are going to start hitting the shelves as well. So not only are pre-orders being filled, but now we're going to start seeing these guys on shelves, which is what I really want. Storm Shadow and Spirit are like, oh my gosh, I've got to have those guys.
They're almost like the new benchmark, right? For these redos of the classic looks.
Mm-hmm.
Gone is all of this like next tech kind of look that they've been doing. And these figures are just like straight out old school. They are badass.
They have. I mean, you can see like one or two maybe little updates to them, but like that first wave of Joes when they came out with Roadblock, Snake Eyes, Duke, they all kind of had this. They looked similar to their old style, but they were still very new and updated. But all of these other waves that we've been seeing, like since Lady J and like Cobra Island specifically, have all been throwbacks to their old designs. And give us what we want, Hasbro, because we are buying it. We are buying it. So
hell yeah,
they've been doubling down on that. They have been doubling down on that 80s feel for all these guys. And so the latest reveals just reinforce that 80s feel. So like they showed us the digital art for the ones that are coming out that they kind of teased before, but we got some new ones too. So we all knew that Outback was going to have the classic look. They released the Tiger Force version for some reason first, but now they're like, oh yeah, we're giving you classic Outback, which is what we wanted in the first place.
The Tiger Force version that was Cobra Island.
Was that Cobra Island? Well, it was Tiger Force. It was Tiger Force Outback, but
they're I guess Cobra Island's not the right way to put it, but it's all the Target exclusives. So
I don't think this Outback doesn't look like he's an exclusive. Like he's a shelf.
Not the new one. No, no. The classic one is standard retail release. The Tiger Force and the Python Patrol stuff, that's all Target, which is really fine and good because they're just all sublines. And when you see like Bazooka and Outback coming, we know that we're going to get them in classic colors, and they're going to be great.
And that's the ones I'm really after. I mean, I do like sublines, which maybe later we'll talk about that. But I prefer the classic look for all of these guys, and so those are the ones that I'm really after. So along with Outback came Falcon.
Yeah.
And Falcon is always one of those guys that everybody loves. Everybody loves a guy fully clad in camo from head to toe, with a pack that looks like it's just carrying everything. And the guy has a shotgun. I mean, he's everything cool about Flint, but all camo.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And with Don Johnson's voice. So,
yeah. I know how you feel about it, but I loved Don Johnson as that character.
I mean, I like Falcon. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm hating on Falcon. It's just Don Johnson's voice was kind of there were better voice actors they could have chosen, but it's okay. So one of the cool ones that I'm really excited about though is we're getting CoverGirl.
Yes,
in her classic look.
number one for me.
And she looks like she did when they initially designed her. Well, I take that back. When we got the initial toy. So there is other versions of CoverGirl that showed up in the Sunbow cartoon. Like long blonde hair was one of them, and then I think there was another version of her. But this is the classic brown and tan with a short red hair, who looks like she's a tank mechanic, and I absolutely love it. It's
the really cool driving gloves, the fatigues, and the tall boots. I mean, that hands down, I'm putting Sergeant Slaughter in a very special place, because that nothing beats that for me. But CoverGirl, I mean, like everybody's like looking at this new Storm Shadow and Spirit. Oh, they're so cool, dude. This new CoverGirl figure is like one of the most badass figures they've made.
Absolutely.
Bar none. I looked at that digital render was just crazy. If it's even like 80% as good as that digital render, that figure is just so freaking good.
I have a feeling it's going to look exactly like this. Like they have not really been different from the digital renders that they've put out. So, I mean, like with very minor detail changes. So if it's even close to this, it's going to be a phenomenal figure. The other ones announced were Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue, which is an easy, it's kind of a lob, right, for Hasbro. Like, we already got Barbecue, so making a new figure with a repainted paint scheme for Slaughter's Marauders is exactly what they did with the original figure. So, but it's kind of cool. People love those sublines, so that's going to be a hook for one of them.
Well, I'll tell you something that troubles me a little bit about that. Barbecue was actually, as classified goes, one of the I don't want to say easier figures to find, but it seemed like he was really plentiful out there at some point. Were we already ready to do a Barbecue repaint? I mean, this would have been like doing a Tiger Force Beachhead or something like, Night Force Beachhead. That figure was really hard to get. And then Target just completely crapped the bed twice trying to get that figure out. So I just wonder, with Barbecue being so readily available, I mean, is this the right time? I'm all for reusing the tooling, right? To do sublines, but this seems really soon after the initial Barbecue release.
So what I think that they're doing is what they've done in the past. So there was another figure that was released in that same line, which was the Crimson Guard Bat, right? So it's the same thing. Bat was just released, and we're already doing what? This is like the second repaint of the Bat, because wasn't there a Tiger, the Python Patrol Bat?
Oh, yeah, I think it was Python Patrol and Standard Bat. There was.
So now we're getting a Crimson Guard Bat, which is all red. So what I think they do with these is they try to give us as many new molds as they can release in that wave, and then they pad it with repaints.
Using existing assets.
To kind of make the wave a little bit more fuller, so that way the other new molds they can release in the next wave coming after it. So I mean, you can't just you can't blow it all in the first wave. So
it makes sense, and I mean, we're going to consume it, right?
Yeah, if I see Slaughter's Marauders Barbecue on the shelf, I'm gonna pick them up. I mean, that's just how it goes. But Barbecue himself is already amalgamation or whatever that word is of other parts from other figures that were already around. So like most of his legs and stuff are Destro, and like his his shoulders belong to somebody else in the line. I can't remember if it was Zartan or something like that, but they're already reused parts already to make Barbecue. So to throw a repaint on him, it's not something new for Hasbro. Hasbro and Mattel and everybody, they all do it. They all repaint and remold their figures over and over and over again. So,
well, I mean, at least Barbecue looks cool.
Oh yeah, he looks really cool. I'm not gonna knock
the Slaughter Marauder. Yeah, that's a good paint scheme.
Well, and you think about the other figures that they've got coming out that are already part of Slaughter's Marauders. Well, will we see those painted in Slaughter's, like Spirit? Are we going to see a Slaughter's Marauder Spirit? I think we will. So,
safe to say, but hey, you know what one would blow my mind? It'd be low light, because we're waiting for a good low light.
Low light, a 6-inch low light, dude. That would be outstanding. But some of the other figures that they announced. So these were the digital renders that they showed, but then they talked to us about some that are upcoming that they didn't even have digital renders for. Copperhead, the driver for the water moccasin for Cobra. Very classic character. The blue and the teal green are always just, popping. So I'm excited to see what his digital render is going to look like. He's not like a character or a figure that I'm foaming at the mouth to get. But if he's a standard release figure, if he's going to be on the shelf, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to have to pick him up. But it makes me wonder, what would a in-scale moccasin look like if this guy was driving it? Can you imagine how big that sucker would be?
That's a $300 HasLab.
Easily. Will it get backed? Not if it's the same people who are trying to back the Rancor, but
wah, wah, wah.
How did they misread the room on that one?
Well, they gave us the Sky Striker, and it totally took all the wind out of those sails.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and that Sky Striker has bled. I would have done it if it wouldn't have already been like my third Sky Striker. So,
yeah.
But I liked the tiers that were afterward. I really and the stuff that came with it. I think those should have been offered separately, but.
Yeah, it's a great deal. It was a great deal.
It really
I was
was
so on the fence about getting one. Yeah.
But, like with things like that, it's like, I got to have room. And do I have room for a third Sky Striker? No room.
Not this guy.
I'm hoping to get a little bit more room here. Some of the things I've got for show and tell are going to be like, oh gosh, I really don't have the room for that. Oh, okay. So Rock and Roll, they announced Rock and Roll, a green shirt, which is good. If he's going to stay in the green shirt look like he did, like with Breaker, he would look really good with Breaker.
Yeah.
I love the OG G.I. Joe green shirt look. So the more we can get of those, the better, I think. And it would be cool if they released him not only in the classified box, but if they released him on the retro card.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. Target was supposed to, or Walmart was supposed to add like another 4 SKUs, and then it was supposedly done.
Yeah.
So it's just this weird line that should have had a lot more legs to it. But I mean, aside from the Baronesses that were found in the Tri-Cities area, I haven't seen a single other one out there.
No.
No Destros, no Lady J's, no Gung Ho. They're great figures, but
no,
where the hell are they?
Don't know. The toy gods definitely smiled on you that day. That was really cool.
Well, I got it twice.
I know.
We found them in Hermiston too, so I don't know. It was just a freak incident. But you know what they're doing? I don't want to derail the news, but they sent out these 40th anniversary boxes. And that Baroness figure was one of the toys that you got inside the 40th box. And I think you also got Storm Shadow and Spirit in there and some other swag, but they sent them out to people that do like toy reviews or websites. It's not something that like the public had access to purchase. It was like a thing to get you all jonesed about what was coming up. But that Baroness is in those boxes. So I don't know. Never got the story on that, but
Well,
there's still more GI Joe.
oh yeah, still more GI Joe. They announced Shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love Shipwreck. Classic character, made very classic in the cartoon with his Jack Nicholson type of voice.
Hey, Wally.
But he's always been one of my favorites. I wore dungarees before they switched over to the new uniforms in the Navy. My dad previously to me wore dungarees. So he's a very, close to my heart action figure. So I will be trying to find Shipwreck as soon as it's announced that this guy's available on shelves. I will be hunting for him. Another one. Okay, so this is the next one is one that I was like, oh, this is perfect for 6-inch. He should have been one of the first. Snow Job. Snow Job is like,
yeah,
like his accessories in 6-inch are just going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait to see what he looks like up close. Are they going to make his hood removable, popped off, so you can see like his bright red hair underneath? There's so many things that they can do with this figure to make him pop but still look classic. So I'm really excited for this one.
Well, wouldn't it be cool if that hood, you could pop the head off, take the hood off completely, so he was just like the red-haired guy in the cartoons?
Yeah, exactly. That would be cool if he came with an alternate head. But even if he doesn't, still a very cool character to be putting in the 6-inch lineup, and followed right by the very next one that I want in 6-inch, Torpedo. We've talked about this one before. Like, if we could come up with who do we want in the 6-inch line, who would we predict? Torpedo was at the top of our list, and sure enough, we got him. So divers classically are always very popular in the toy lines.
They were eels, popular when I was hard a kid. To argue with eels.
Yeah, they were popular when I was a kid. They're still popular today among the adult collectors. So this one seems like a no-brainer to me. Like this one, I'm amazed it took this long to get him out into a 6-inch figure. But I'm excited for it. Can't wait to see it. And I think the one that was announced today, which is a surprising one, but a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, is Tunnel Rat, right? Yeah, you talk about a guy who's all decked out in camo and looks like a quintessential soldier. Tunnel Rat's the guy. It's got that huge gun, those big backpacks. Are his flashlights going to be as hard to find in the future? Who knows? But for the original, his flashlights were like the first thing to disappear. Right? You can't find those today. Yeah. But a figure that everybody will be looking forward to, I'm sure. I mean, just a great reveal. Going into we're only halfway through Yojo June, so who knows what else we got left coming up.
Well, how about the O-rings that became available to order?
Yeah, the O-rings for Cobra Commander, Coco, and Duke. So what's really cool about these ones is they are molded in their classic figure molds, but painted to look like the Sunbow cartoons, which I think is kind of cool. I like the look of Cobra Commander, how he's got the paint on his head. He's got the classic waist from the cartoon, and and Duke's colors really pop, right? The yellow tannish color that his shirt is, and the green. I'm excited for that one. I actually really like these colors.
I like them too. It was a little curious to me why they decided to go animated colors on these figures, rather than
not the retro toy itself.
Yeah, like they. So far, everything has been just a complete throwback to the classic, and then these two got, they got cartoon paint jobs, and I like it, but I mean, if they were really going like Sunbow, then Duke's hair should have been like bright yellow.
Oh yeah.
And that bandolier strap should have been like this like weird pinkish kind of a color. It was really odd, but they're great looking figures, and I think the colors are awesome. It does frustrate me when you look at them on the cart when they're carded, and they're not carded with their accessories that they came with.
So it looked like Duke came like you see his helmet on the card and his gun, but not his back. But if it's anything like the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, the accessories are there. They're just underneath.
Yeah,
in the box.
They're in that weird, that pack-in slot
Yeah.
that's in the box, which I don't know. I mean, I guess these aren't supposed to be exactly the original, and you can still put them up on your shelf or put a thumbtack in it and hang it.
Yeah.
And that should give you all the feels of original Joe when you look
Absolutely.
at it. It was a little curious to me. Now, what I will say is seeing him with the jetpack, and he's got the bandolier and the jetpack and the bazooka, so you can reenact the sequence from G.I. Joe the movie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And he comes with a flag too, so hey.
Never has there been a better like 2.5 minutes of animated sequence than the beginning of G.I. Joe the movie. That's like the greatest thing I've ever seen.
I absolutely agree.
The music is fantastic, and Duke shoots Major Blood out of the air when he's on that hang on the glider, like underslung.
Yeah.
Shoots a bazooka. He's holding it like that. It's stupid. But then again, and I mean, like their jetpack physics don't work either. But
no,
anyways,
it's so over the top that it works, right?
I love it. I love it. And I mean, they're fighting on the Statue of Liberty, like on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah. I'm sold. Sold. I like it. I'm already sold. But yeah, I agree. I love the opening for that. So we had Duke and Cobra, which I got in on the pre-order as soon as it showed up. So
yes, I'm fist bumping the camera right now. Thank you for that.
Boom.
I really appreciate you getting me the hookup on those figures.
Yeah, I did the same thing for you for those for the Cobra Troopers and things. I just felt like I wasn't sure how popular they were going to be, but I felt like if I was going to pre-order anything, it was going to have to be the O-rings. Get in on them as soon as we possibly could.
Yeah, but wait, there's more.
Wait, there's more. What else do we got?
Striker, Bumblebee.
In the way of G.I. Joe and Transformers, we got the reveal of O-ring Stalker with Striker Bumblebee. What?
Seriously? Seriously?
Yeah. So there are a few other Transformers I would have chosen to go with before Bumblebee if we're going down the G.I. Joe, path. Hound, Beachcomber, any one of those would have fit the Striker, but you put his alt mode is completely green, and then when he turns into a robot, all of his bright yellow comes out, and you're like, what?
And can I ask why the Striker? Why not just the Vamp and do it as Hound?
Yeah, that's Vamp. I mean, if you want to do the Striker, you had the perfect Transformer that you just skipped right over.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. For some reason, Hasbro has a hard-on for the Striker. I don't know why. It really isn't one of those like super iconic Joe vehicles, right? Like if you're in that scale, $8 to $10 or whatever they were. I mean, you've got the Vamp, which was way cooler than the Striker. I mean, hell, you got the Silver Mirage motorcycle, or you've got the the Rapid Fire motorcycle. I mean, there's tons of other vehicles for Joe, like classic Joe, that they should be glomming onto. Like that classic vehicle they can't put down for Cobra is the His Tank.
Yeah,
I love it. That's a great design. But
but we've seen it 3 times already.
Yeah, and we've seen the Striker, and we have seen these little, the little mini diecast vehicles, and I don't know. I don't understand the fascination with a dune buggy for G.I. Joe. It looks like a reject from what the hell was that stupid Megaforce from the 80s? The guy with the silver spandex and the that's what the Striker reminds me of. But anyways, I won't rant anymore.
But no, I mean, Bumblebee is an odd choice for sure, and I know we're not the only ones to think that, because the comments all reflected that. People were not sure why they chose Bumblebee, other than the fact that Bumblebee sells. I guess I don't know. But it seemed like
that Stalker figure though.
Oh, I know, and so I've got to buy Bumblebee Ostriker in order to get Stalker. And I'm like, is he worth it? Probably not. I think I'm going to pass.
You know who you sound like when you say that?
What?
I have to buy this expensive thing to get the driver or the one little part. You know who you sound like?
Steve. I sound like
me. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. Except,
oh God, dang it! I want the driver, so I got to buy this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I think that one I'll pass on because I'm not going to see it on shelves, so I don't really care. So.
No, and Megatron was an easy pass for me. Yeah. I almost would have rather seen him as like you know that vehicle, the Maggot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. With that long barrel
segment with the giant gun. Yeah, and it's like that tank thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think something like that would have been terrific for him. Or, well, I mean, we could go into that like great detail for those vehicles. But anyways, yeah, it was a little bit of a weird thing. But hey, it comes with a Stalker figure that is top shelf.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure other G.I. Joe nerds will definitely be purchasing that one, and better them than I. Wow. All right. So yeah, but wait, there's more. I guess there's more news, Steve. So go ahead and jump into it.
Well, the one that we hadn't covered on Joe June was that they revealed Sergeant Slaughter. They revealed all of his pack-ins and the box art and stuff. That's a cool figure, and they're just looking for a reason to make them $40 a piece, I'm sure.
Sure.
So, which I will buy one. There it is. Doesn't matter. I don't care if it's 50. I gotta have one.
Gotta have it.
Maybe even two. One to keep in package, one to open, and I don't do that very often. But he comes packed with it like a very little Sergeant Slaughter figure on
that he can hold in his hand.
Yeah. Was that out of an advertisement? Like the old.
I'll have to look it up. I'll have to see, because it just seems so funny that's an odd choice for an accessory.
Well, I mean, the figure itself is terrific. You got like the removable whistle, the glasses come off, the hat comes off. And I mean, he's ready to like whip the ass of Nemesis Enforcer at like any point. It is just a terrific, aggressive looking figure. But an odd choice for the pack-in, like a small Slaughter. But I'm gonna buy it anyways, so God dang you. Bro, for like milking another $10 for crap accessories.
I mean, anything that brings Sergeant Slaughter back into the fold of G.I. Joe is good. I mean, this is his first return for a long time, right? I mean, he hasn't been able to be part of the G.I. Joe lineup because of copyright or with WWE. So the fact that we have an actual Sergeant Slaughter for G.I. Joe, eat it up.
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be a long-term deal either, because he's really in with that company, and they've been very, very good to him. So I think that he kind of had his contract lapse, and I would assume he'll probably be re-signing with them in another year or so. So we're going to see Sergeant Slaughter Classic, Sergeant Slaughter Mail-In, Sergeant Slaughter Marauder. God help me if we could get a Warthog Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh man, yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely on board the Sergeant Slaughter train when it comes to G.I. Joe. So I'm very happy.
So yeah, in expediting our little segment here, Street Fighter versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was really excited because Playmates is doing these figures, and they're going to be in like 6-inch scale, and the Street Fighter figures, and I'm thinking, crap, I got to buy these like $40 2-packs to get my Street Fighter characters. Oh, they gave you a better look at them like last week, so I don't got to buy them now. They're horrible.
No, you're like, my mind's made up.
Yeah, do you remember that god-awful cartoon that was on USA that was Street Fighter?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay.
Is that what they're designed after?
Yeah, that looks like them. I mean, they could not, in that cartoon, stay consistent with how a character looked.
Oh, gosh.
In one scene, it's like, big exaggerated muscle. Then you see him a little skinnier, and the hair. And these figures look like they are rejects from that cartoon. So I was very disappointed. I love Street Fighter 2. It's my favorite fighting game ever. But the Playmates just saved me a shitload of money when they revealed the Ryu and Chun-Li from that series, because they're really bad. You guys.
What do the turtles look like in that series, though?
They look like turtles with a bunch of black ink washing all over them. So
Okay.
that like highlights all of the, crevices of their muscles and everything. I don't really know the look they were trying to get out of them. It would have made better sense if they were like brighter color to match the Street Fighter character colors, like this is some sort of battle crossover, but
Right.
I guess they figured they've already fleeced you like 4 times for the same molds, so they got to do something different. So those were crap. But what was not crap, have you seen the Black Adam figures from McFarlane?
I have not. No.
Oh my God, they are great.
Really?
I'm not a huge, I did not read Shazam, the comic book. I really, really, really loved the movie.
Oh yeah, I did too.
And these figures are just so realistic. I mean, you know how McFarlane kind of knocked it out of the park with the Batman figures?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's what they've done here. And they released a photo of the Black Adam with this cloak and these lightning effects. And dude, that figure is just, that thing's the bee's knees. Not gonna buy one, but it's great. It's great. You should take a look at it.
I'm trying to find it.
In further news, Masters of the Universe Revelations season 2. I think it's called Revolution this time. Kevin Smith's back on board for another 6 episodes.
All right, we'll see what. Let's see.
Not for Doug, not for you, but for me.
No, no. Look, there were parts about the cartoon that I really liked. I thought were cool. There were parts about it that I did not like. So I was so about the cartoon. But don't get me wrong, the action figures, I am 100% on board for. Those guys are phenomenally cool. So if we're getting a season 2 Revelations, Masters of the Universe, can you just imagine what figures we're going to get from that?
I mean, we're seeing it. Those Beastman deluxe figures that are starting to hit Target. Zodak, that other like jabroni from Princess of Power, Scorpia.
We're seeing Hordak and we're seeing She-Ra and we're seeing. So I can imagine those 2 people are going to show up in season 2 if he does it right.
And we've got the 40th He-Man.
Yeah,
in that line, and it is terrific. Dude, I really like what McFarlane's been doing with all these Batman figures. You can argue that NECA is just supremely high quality for their sculpting and their paint apps and everything. But when Revelations won Toy Line of the Year, or not Revelations, but the Masterverse, it's deserved.
Absolutely,
there has not been a dud in that line so far. They've all been terrific.
No, they have been every bit as good or surpassing the classics. Right? I mean, some of them are just so super cool. Like I Triclops, Castle King Grayskull, Scareglow. Oh my gosh, yes. Scareglow is just wow, super cool. So yeah, every figure that has been in that line so far has been top notch, and I'm super happy for it. So yeah, like I said, the cartoon may be so-so, I don't care, but the toys that are gonna come with it, sign me up, I'll buy them.
Yeah, yep. So I was really excited to see it continue in the media. I mean, the movie has just been in development hell for a long time, and we've got this like kid version of He-Man that it's okay. I don't like that they're drawing it like Batman the Animated Series. I don't like those weird proportions.
Yeah, I mean,
but I mean, even the Masterverse versions of He-Man and Skeletor are like the best you could expect for those weird ass looking designs.
Well, the new Eternia designs for Skeletor and for He-Man. So like if let's say you're not like into the barbarian aspect of what they are, you can take off the barbarian stuff and they are perfect Skeletor and He-Man figures. So but by the way, I like them as their alternate barbarian modes. So yeah, Revelations is not in Toy Line. Revelation Toy Line is definitely not a miss. It is a big hit.
Did you see the new Marvel retros that are coming?
I heard about some of them.
Nova, Firestar, Moon Knight. The Moon Knight looks great. And then they're doing a classic black and red Spidey that's got the little spider webs under his armpits.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're really rad. I love them. I'm hoping I'm about done. and out of that rabbit hole until they release like a Punisher.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they got some weird they've got Bullseye. Okay, why can't we have a Punisher?
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be into that Firestar because I have classic Spider-Man and I have classic Iceman. So I need Firestar if I'm going to get Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
His amazing friends. Yeah. Yeah. So last but not least on my list, Pluto and Hasbro have teamed up and we now have Transformers TV. It's like a subsect of Pluto, and they're starting with 200 hours of Transformers content for free to stream.
Really?
So yeah, that's really great news. Being able to just turn Pluto on your streaming device and catch up with some classic Transformers, or if you didn't get a shot for something like oh doggone it, the name just escaped me. It was that CGI Transformers Prime.
Oh yeah.
It was well written. I just didn't like the character models of the animation, but it was great. I mean, it was like some of the best Transformers.
I heard that was some of the best Transformer stories ever.
Yeah, and even there's some really good Cyberverse stuff out there. The Bumblebee centric show, the import shows that really kicked Transformers back off. The Robots in Disguise, Armada, and Cybertron. So it's a pretty full slate, and then you've got. Obviously, you'll have G1, which who doesn't love G1?
Yeah, my son and I have been watching the classic Transformers on Hasbro Pulse because YouTube has them all up there for free, right? So we've been watching one a day, and he's pointed out how cool some of the episodes are and how freaking hokey some of the episodes are.
They can't all be.
And I can't deny it. They're hokey, man.
Yeah. That was new. They didn't really know what they were doing, but I'll take that any day over a bunch of emaciated insects with super glue and metal parts stuck to them, like any day of the week.
No thanks.
So yeah, there's a lot of news to cover there. A bunch of items.
Oh yeah, it was not a dry news 2 weeks. That's for sure. We got a lot of good stuff that came out. So.
No, not at all. But I bet that you're about bursting at the seams to show off something you sent me some pictures of. It was a very, very good last couple of weeks to be dug on hauls.
Oh my gosh, yes. And we're going to have to wait because we're going to go to our first commercial break. We'll return after these messages.
They said it wasn't humanly possible, but now you can have all the power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
And we're back from that vintage commercial break. Did you like it? I don't know. I don't know which one I'm going to put in there yet, but I'm sure you're going to like it.
Yes, we now return to the Plastic Adventures podcast show community thingy that we do.
All right. So, Steve, what do you have for toy show and tell?
Nothing.
That's not true. You have something. I have something for you.
It's dry up here. It is so dry right now, and I haven't had a chance to get around to my usual haunts. And I was in Snohomish last week for a little LVP chip repair that I was doing. Went over to Bobacon, and it was just like a lot of slightly higher priced nothing that I didn't need to have. So I have gotten zero.
It's amazing. You walked out of Bobacon with nothing.
I know. It felt really strange. Like I should just tell them to sell me anything in there.
Don't let me leave without something in my hand. Come on.
They had cool stuff, but it's just we're both getting to that point though, where sometimes we just go into some place and it's like, squirrel, that. What do you want, Steve? Yeah.
It's cool. All right, but Steve, you do have something for show and tell, and I'll help you. Let me show you what you have. Da-dum.
Sweet. Yes.
Ed 209.
I bought that
I
Kenner
cleaned him up for
RoboCop
you.
some time ago.
What was that? Go ahead.
Oh, I said I bought the Kenner RoboCop some time ago because I had one as a kid and I always wanted one. I'd been eyeballing these, like I really kind of wanted to have another ED260 according to the package art. But you actually reminded me that this has a little bit more articulation than I thought. I thought it was just 1 point when I was a kid.
It does. So it does have the waist movement and it clicks. It's got a
ratchet joint. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very, very well made too. And then it's also got leg movements. So you can mimic him falling down and going. But either way, I saw this one and I knew you bought that RoboCop last time. So I was like, oh, Steve is going to want this. So there you go.
Thank
Steve.
you. That's a really good pickup. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And he's in great condition. All of his stickers are top notch. There are no discolorations. His little thing in the back that pops down, you can put the little caps in. Works perfectly.
Great.
Very cool. So that's Steve's show and tell. There you go.
Yeah, we're done.
We're done.
Now time for the main event.
Okay, so I'm going to start off small, and then we'll go big. I haven't bought a lot of Transformers lately because I've been buying other things, but I did find a Transformer, and you know how big I am about the Diaclone colors, right?
Yeah.
Love the Diaclones. So I found Deep Cover. He was in the black Lamborghini Diaclone. Found him at GameStop for $20. He was on sale for $20.
Yeah, I've seen those there.
Yeah. So I was like $20 for yeah, sign me up. I'll take that. Absolutely. So I picked up Deep Cover, and he goes nicely with all of my other Diaclone Transformers. Got this guy, version 2 Snake Eyes for
it's so cool.
Free action figures, Super 7. He comes in his blue. He's not all black, blue and gray.
Yeah, like in sticking with this cartoon-based theme that they're doing, Snake Eyes, I think it would have been hard to do him all black. How would you have done the highlights and stuff? So that figure is terrific, man.
I'm actually glad that he does look like this. He looks really cool. And he's got the laser pistol kind of down there. That's not an Uzi, right? It's more like the kind that he would shoot in the cartoon. And it looks like his backpack is built onto his back, kind of like Storm Shadow. So his sword slides in there. So there's no parts to move or to lose. It's just a good all around Snake Eyes figure. So, but the one thing I do like about the Super 7s, we're talking about if we fall into that rabbit hole of getting them. One thing that they've done that the retros have not done, or any of these other ones, has done like a full file card and the pictures like they used to do on the old GI Joes. Right. So the retros and all these other ones have like a little piece up here at the top that's English, and then there's like 7 different languages down his file card. And I'm like, why can't you just make one for each country? Do it that way. But the back of the cards is beautiful. But very cool figure. Glad to pick him up. I saw him on the shelf, mixed like 7 Major Bloods and some Lady J's and some Flints. Only Snake Eyes, so I had to pick him up.
I love it. It's really tough for me to walk past that figure when I see it at Target.
Well, if you see him again, I recommend you should probably get him because he's actually pretty cool.
I'll tell Nicole that you said so.
Yeah, tell her. Absolutely. Doug said I got to get this. Okay, so the next one I found is we've talked about this one before. It helps complete my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set. Ultimate April O'Neil.
Yeah.
Found her. She was the only one on the shelf there. She was at the Richland Walmart.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All of the Walmarts here were April O'Neil rich for about like 2 days.
Oh yeah.
They hit, and everybody on the toy groups were like, "Oh, go get them." I went into my local Walmart here in Mount Vernon, and they stayed for like about a day. Yeah. And gone. Never restocked. Pure scalper bait, along with the April and Casey 2-pack, that Farmhouse 2-pack. So I mean,
I'm super happy to get this because it gives me all of the ones from the movie that I really want.
Oh heck yeah, and that's a great figure.
Yeah, the only other one maybe I would think about, I would need to find loose, is the Shredder from the first movie. I actually really love the Super Shredder one because he's big and how I think I know you think he's a stinker, but I actually really like him. But the only other one I would think I would need to get is that Shredder. I'll pass on the Danny figure. I don't really care about that one. But yeah, and the cool thing about her box is it's lenticular, right? It's got the it does the
and one of those pictures I think has the dagger stuck into it.
Yeah, the dagger is like right there.
yeah, it's cool, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I was really happy to find this one. Really super happy. All right, so we'll break into some of my other cool finds that I got for vintage. We're going into vintage now. So start small. Look at this guy.
Damn, that's a nice crisp looking land speeder.
Isn't that nice? The
yeah,
silver is really popping on that. I cleaned him up a little bit, took all the dust off of it. I actually took it apart and replaced the springs in it, so his wheels are nice and springy. There is a part that I think is missing in the middle because I'm going to play around with it, but this part is loose, so I'm going to have to see if I can kind of fix that up. But overall, I mean, I'm like, this is a great. I love the land speeder look. It's so classic Star Wars, right? So
yeah. Where'd you get it?
eBay.
Oh, okay.
Came up for a good price, so I was like, I can't pass that up. That's a good, like what? It was like $23 with the shield. So I was like, yeah, the seats I had to re-glue in, but other than that, I'm like, it came with a shield and the seats. So
yeah, done.
Okay, and then I won't show the other one. I'm gonna go into this. So you haven't seen these ones yet, but look at these. I found these at the same time. The vinyl cases.
Oh man, those are cool. Man,
so I bought two of them. I'll show you. They've got all of the cases inside. This one they already put the stickers on them, but still very, very cool. Was not looking for vinyl cases, but $9 each, dude.
I mean, those things are usually like crusty by now,
Oh
like
yeah, no, this is perfect. It's perfect. No dust, no nothing. This guy he's got a little bit of like, some turned up corners, but
yeah,
dude, no, this was outstanding. And so the other one I found is the Empire Strikes Back one.
Oh man, oh, that is so cool.
So this one, the little clasp does not connect. So I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to fix that. I'm sure I can fix that. But so I was cleaning it out the other day when I got it home, and no, look.
Oh, sweet! Wow.
Yeah, I didn't.
That is awesome.
Yeah, when I was in the store, I didn't take out the bottom tray. I just took up the first tray just to kind of see what the condition of the bottom tray was in. I didn't even think about taking out the bottom tray. So when I got home, and a couple days later, I'm like, okay, time to clean this thing off. I take out both trays, and there it was, boom, stuck to the bottom of the.
Oh, dude, that is so cool being able
$9
to sticker sheets.
$9.
And this was Xenophile?
This was Xenophile, bro.
You son of a bitch. Why do you get that store and I don't get that here?
Well,
I mean, like, I got a lot. I've got a lot here, but I want that one too.
You have Bobacon, so we're even, bro.
Yeah, but those cases would be $60 a piece there.
It would be. I get the better prices.
God dang it. Super jealous.
Well, we're gonna have to go next time you're in the Tri-Cities. So
yeah, most definitely.
All right, so let's get to the cool stuff, huh? Let's get because that other stuff.
Oh yeah, because that other stuff's just like the warm up, the appetizer.
All right, so here's this guy. Look how bright white and beautiful.
Oh man, that is gorgeous. That just is, dude. That is great.
And it's just absolutely phenomenal. And
what the flip is that?
That's the sound they originally made.
I know what it is, but like. What were these guys doing? Like they're all sitting around at this table and like, we need to add lights and sound. What kind of a sound do you make?
But anyway, yeah, this guy's in perfect condition. So the only thing that is different is obviously these are repro vinyl stickers. because finding one, even in bright white, the stickers are all crusty and bent and falling off.
Yeah, they're just too old, man.
They're just too old.
They lost their adhesive and their elasticity. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So the guy I bought this from on eBay was very upfront and, you know, said that the stickers are vinyl replaces, and I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with it because it looks gorgeous. Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, but wait, there's more. Yes. So, okay. So the big find, the big, oh my gosh moment that, you know, holy cow, did I actually stumble across this thing? Yes, I did. Where's the fanfare? Dun, 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 dun. Look how big this thing is. And he's perfect.
That looks great, man. That thing is so clear looking. It's not yellowed up and
it's
roasted.
Not yellowed. It's 100% complete. And so and it came with, let me pop off the, you know, in perfect condition. This thing is, for some reason, I was always missing from the ones you find on eBay.
You never find it.
I just love playing with this thing, Steve. It's so freaking cool. It's so cool. But it has these guys, which are super hard to find, the cannons.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. Are those inside the ship?
Those are inside the ship.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, but it's cool. Another thing that it has that it's always missing on a lot of them now is the trapdoor.
Oh, yeah.
So it's got that. Like I said, this thing is 100% complete and 100% beautiful. And
man, that's crazy. That is a crazy good find.
The backpack and the gas masks were all in the packaging.
Is that a baggie, or is that just like the factory bag that they cleaned?
It's the factory Kenner bag.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's the factory Kenner bag. But wait, there's more.
Now, I need to ask you before you show whatever this is, are we going to be able to air this episode? Like, Michelle isn't part of our viewership, right?
She knows. So it also came with the box.
Look it out. That actually shows really nice. When you showed it to me, it was like ripped or damaged part on there.
So the bottom, I did have to cut off. It was very badly damaged. It was water damaged. It was falling apart. It was very brittle. If I touched it just a little bit, the pieces would just fall off.
Yeah.
So I just made the decision to just cut it off where the watermark damage was. So I'm going to try to fix it. I'm going to put some cardboard on here. I'm going to glue it together, and then I'm going to print off what the bottom should have looked like. So the bottom won't be, you know, vintage, but the box, you know, 80% of the box is going to be. So.
Yeah, but everything else looks great on there.
Yeah, does that? I mean, that's going to look good when I finally get it done up on that top shelf of the toy shelf there. So,
Doug get cool stuff and Steve doesn't. God dang it.
It had to happen at least once.
I know. Like, I go on these insane runs where I just pick up these huge hunks at a time. But that's okay. I know a place in Stanwood I need to get down to and look at a Mego Buck Rogers down there. But
yeah, I've got my eye on one. The guy at Phenophile has 3 Buck Rogers play sets, and I told him to hold on to one of them for me because I'm going to buy it. 3
guys, they're starting to really like you down there, aren't they?
Huh?
I said those guys are starting to really warm up to you there, aren't they?
Oh, dude, I love those guys. Yeah. So cool. They always got such good stories to tell you too when you're checking out or when you're talking to them. It's a treat to get to go there, and I feel very lucky that we had found it when we did. From an old acquaintance of all places, we were turned on to this. So I'm very glad. And every time I've gone there, Steve, struck gold. If I was to turn these things around and sell them, it would be, I mean, that lunchbox that I got last time, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, some of it's at market, but usually it's pretty fair.
Yeah,
they've got their stuff priced out at.
Well, I mean, I won't tell the viewer. I'll tell you later, but I won't tell the viewers how much this bad boy cost. But you will not believe what the price that I paid for it. I felt like I was stealing it when I walked out of the store. Anyway, that's my show and tell. I was very, very anxious to show those things off this week.
Oh, I do have something to show. You want to see?
Oh, yeah, what do you got?
That's the really gross blister that I got on my hand when I was scraping off old crap from on the floor at my work.
How much did that cost you?
Because my contractor no show, no called, even after he committed 3 times in a row for us.
The joys of the adult world.
And you know what's the best thing about this? The best accessory is that it's over one of the cracks there, so it just keeps reopening and scabbing up. It's pretty cool. But no, I mean like way better than that dumb Rebel transport that you probably
so much better.
Paid like
so
next
much.
to nothing for, and all that other stuff. Yeah, so that's what I got.
Oh no, I know that I got very lucky the last couple weeks for my vintage Star Wars. I know that. I know it's not going to repeat itself anytime soon. So I am super happy.
That's crazy, that getting those stickers in there. And did it smell like that, like hard petroleum smell? Like
it smelled like, there's the hard plastic smell, and then there's that vinyl smell.
Yeah. Oh God, it smells like vintage
plastic.
Excellent. Dude, we're halfway to our graves anyways. Who cares about some brain cells?
Yeah, I don't care. Bring it on. Oh. Yeah, dude, that Rebel transport blows my mind. Absolutely happy to have that. All right, we're done with show and tell.
Yes. Discussion time.
On to the meat and potatoes of what we're here for. Nobody cares about the news. Nobody cares about Doug's toys. You should, but let's talk about some stuff. What was your topic today?
Well, it just kind of struck me that I don't think that we've spent any time discussing with all of our adoring public how we feel about sublines. So you've got sublines, which is like G.I. Joe would be the best example, right? So you've got like Tiger Force, Python Patrol, Battle Farce 2000. What is not a subline would be like Battle Armor He-Man, Thunder Punch He-Man, because those are variations. So in thinking of these sublines, I thought it might be kind of cool to just talk about some of them that are our favorites, and then talk about a few that we really kind of felt were duds.
Sure. You want to start off, or do you want me to?
Sure. So Transformers, I mean, G.I. Joe's the easy one, because that's tons of sublines in there, and Ninja Turtles has got them too. But so Transformers, we've got like, and I'm not talking teams like Protectobots and
right. No, you're talking about like all the different kind of sublines that
we're talking about like Pretenders. I don't know that there might be one other subline that sucked harder than Pretenders for Transformers. I mean, there might be one, and I'm going to say it next. But Pretenders, essentially, what you had was a low carb robot inside. They were very skinny, and the robot actually did kind of transform into something. Like you folded the legs back and turned the head to face down, and like maybe some of them had wings or little wheels or something. They were crap. But you squeeze this giant robot transformer into like this pinata body to this clamshell that was like a pinata. You got to beat it to get the robot out.
And they were beefy,
chunky looking, like space Vikings and bugs and insects and killer cuttlefish or whatever the hell.
I don't know. I thought we were supposed to talk about sublines that we liked, and you went right to Pretenders.
Well, I wanted to say how much I disliked that subline, because they didn't all work. But you know what subline I really liked in Transformers? Headmasters.
Yeah, that was going to be mine.
Yeah.
I agree. So I love the Headmasters. Like I don't know if you're as big into watching some stuff on YouTube as I am. but there are some YouTubers out there that talk about Transformers that I really do enjoy. And one of them is Chris McFeely, and he talks about the basics of. So he'll pick a like a certain character from Transformers, and he'll run down the entire, like, what he was in the toy, what he was in the comic, what he was in the cartoon, in this variation, and all these fun things. But he's got a very thick British accent. And so I love hearing him talk, especially about the Headmasters, because he'd be like, and so this is part of the Headmasters toy line. And so now I can't say Headmasters without thinking Headmaster.
Well, I don't think you can say Headmaster without thinking about something else.
Well,
it was a much more innocent time.
So
they don't, thank God they never had a line called Job Masters. But they're cool, right? Okay, like the head comes off and turns into a pilot, and you know, like to some kind of vehicle or monster. So and you plug the head in, and a little door opened up, and you could see their statistics, like their strength, speed, and skill.
Yeah, that was the old school Headmasters, right? The old school Headmasters had that, where when you plugged them in, the thing would pop down, and you can see how strong they were, how fast they were, what their intelligence was. I don't know why you would want that readout on your chest, but hey, the Headmasters did it in their old blocky fashion. But as Transformers kind of evolved over the years, Headmasters became really detailed and intricate. And so, like in the Power of the Primes Headmasters, and in, you know, recent ones like the War for Cybertron, there are Headmasters in there that are really, really good. Specifically in the Power of the Primes line, where almost everybody was a Headmaster in that line. So you know, some of my favorites are like Chrome Dome, where the head comes off, and you know, very detailed, looks a lot like the IDW renditions of the characters for Power of the Primes. But it's such a cool idea to, like, when you turn them into their vehicle mode, their head pops off and turns into the little pilot that you plug in.
Yeah, and the new Headmasters were really, really articulated. They
did
a great job on those. So I always thought that was a really, really neat gimmick, that the head turned into an actual, like, figure that was a pilot.
Yeah.
I don't think that was as successful as, or I don't think that Power Masters were as successful as Headmasters.
No, I don't think so, which is too bad, because I actually kind of like the Power Master idea. Even though the story behind it was a little wonky with the Nebulons and all that fun stuff. But the idea, though, that you had to have this littler transformer in order to complete your transformation into your ultimate robot mode, which I thought was really kind of cool. Played well with the Optimus Prime Power Master, really well. I know the Double Dealer was also in that that Power Master line too. Both of them really cool, but yeah, it didn't really go much further than that, which was too bad.
Yeah, I mean, you had some of them that had nice little interactive feature, or I don't want to say interactive, but like environmental features, you know, like Optimus Prime turned into that base.
Yeah.
And you had places where you could put the Headmaster, but I did not like them as well as the Headmaster figures.
Headmasters. Now, the only other line that I can think of, or the other subline that was really good in the Transformers in regards to what like Headmasters was Target Masters, or the Weaponizers type one, right? So you had the gun that would turn into a robot, or you'd have a shield that would turn into a robot, or an axe that would do that. I thought that those were kind of cool. It was a good idea, because in the world of Transformers, where nothing is what it seems, having a robot's gun that could turn actually into a robot seemed like a logical step to me. Seemed like a pretty cool idea.
They just weren't as articulated, right? Like a lot of the Target Masters, they had articulation at the waist. You turn them into a robot, and they're just like this stiff little plug of robot.
Yeah, and you know, even in the War for Cybertron, when they did the Target Masters and things like that, they still weren't very articulated, even though they were on ball joints and they could move their arms a little bit more. Some of their waists were articulated, but still just very straight arm, straight leg.
Yeah. How do you feel about Action Masters?
Neither here nor there about it. It's not as cool as the Headmaster. For some reason, the Headmasters is just a super cool idea. And all the other ones kind of seem to kind of pale in comparison to it.
Yeah, Action Master gave they gave you a lot of like cartoon depictions of the characters in GI Joe scale, and then it was.
But they didn't transform. But they
Yeah,
didn't transform. So
their vehicles or their helpers transformed. So
yeah,
in one way, it was an affordable way to pick up characters that you loved, but they were really kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And with Optimus Prime and Megatron, you still had to buy like $30 vehicles to get them. So.
Yeah. Well, and they kind of remind me of the way that Super 7 Reaction Figures has done their Transformer renditions, right? They look a lot like the cartoon ones, don't transform, very 5 points of articulation. So to me, I haven't even been buying those. They're, like I said, they're not here nor there for me. If I found one and it was like $2, yeah, I'll pick it up, but I'm not going to go search out for them. So
Micromasters.
Okay, Micromasters. Remind me which ones those were.
They're the little teeny tiny ones. They're usually about like an 1.25 inch long car or jet, and they came in packs of 4.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, yeah.
Love them.
Those ones were actually kind of neat. Some of them had little weird transformations, like if there was a plane, the wings would fall like completely back. But other than that, it was a cool idea, which is where the War for Cybertron still continued their Micromasters lines on, which actually did upgrade their transforming quite a bit for those ones. So I really do like those ones.
I liked them. You could stuff them into pockets. There was environments that transformed. They transformed. Usually all the robots had like shoulder articulation. So if you were going to have your fighting robots actually fight, then they could actually put their arms forward.
And slap each other.
Well, you don't really need much, like Star Wars, 5 POA.
No, I know. Yeah, and we'll make fun of 5 POA, but it actually is one of the best action figure designs there is.
It's simplistic. You can still do a lot with them, but it's really scaled back. It lets the imagination go, and it's economical. But anyways, okay, so for the sucky side of Transformers, Throttle Bots most definitely. Yep. Suck so hard. And Sparkabots.
Those are even worse.
My God, they suck so bad.
You know what's really funny is when we started getting into these things in the 80s, when we started like with what, jump starters, the ones that you'd pull back and then they flip open and you're going, oh, that's kind of lame.
Well, I mean, at least
I don't think they can get worse than this. And then they double down on how bad they can get.
The robots had shoulder movement, so you could have a gun pointed forward. Not the Throttle Bots. They just turn into like hostages.
Yeah. Put the gun on there.
They all look like effing Eric Cartman from South Park, chunky. Hey, don't take me hostage. Yeah.
I'm a Transformer. No, you're not.
Shame.
You're not even a GoBot.
Let's see here. How about Masters of the Universe? Let's look at that.
Yeah,
we got groups like the Snake Men.
Yeah, I was going to say Masters of the Universe did make my list. Snake Man is a good one if that one's yours. Great. I was actually thinking of the Horde as a subline.
Yeah.
Because it definitely came in after all of the original run of the Masters of the Universe, and introducing a new bad guy, which was desperately needed. Gave us a whole new clan of henchmen that had really cool gimmicks. Remember, 80s were full of gimmicks. And so each of them had one that was really kind of distinct to what the character was. So the Horde is a great subline, I think.
Oh yeah.
And one that is a perfect example of a great idea at the wrong time, right? Because it was at the end of Masters of the Universe. It was kind of winding down. They were trying to come up with anything to kind of save the toy line, because it had dropped off drastically right by that time.
Yeah, Mattel oversaturated and had bad assortments.
They did, but like I said, it was a great idea at the wrong time, because the Horde is such a cool idea, and the Hordak is a great bad guy. He would go from cheesy to completely evil like that in the cartoon. But yeah, that's for Masters of the Universe, it's got to be the Horde all the way.
Yeah, I don't think there's any losers. When you look at the sublines of Masters, the Snake Men were all great. You had like Squeeze with the long arms, and actually, when I was a kid, I hated Cobra Khan.
Oh,
Peg
really? This
Warmer,
pushes his head down and he squirts.
Peg Warmer. But the Horde had a bunch of really, really distinct characters. They weren't snakes. They were all like these technological monsters. You know, you had Blast Attack, uh, who like blows up to hurt you.
I like Grizzlor was cool.
Yeah, Grizzlor Montana is. I mean, even though he was a peg warmer, that's a cool figure too.
Oh yeah.
You had Multibot. You had the Horde Trooper.
What was the one that was before Multibot? It was the red one. Modulac or something like that.
I'm losing my master's cred here. That was
it was Modulac.
Modulac, yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. I thought he was kind of cool.
Yeah, there was no well, I guess Meteorbs is a shit subline, and you know, that was just done for price point. But
yeah,
aside from that, out of their main lines of figures that they were pushing, Masters probably got everything right. They didn't have a dud. Yeah.
No, and like I said, it's just too bad because for as strong as it started out in the 80s, I'm glad it's making a resurgence and it's coming back and it's as popular as it is, because I felt that it always should have been one of the more popular franchises that come out of the 80s. Everything about it was iconic, from the cartoon to the comics to the toys.
Yes,
to the underoos that you would buy. Remember you buying the freaking He-Man underoos? Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a pair like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago that came with a shirt and underwear, and Nicole didn't really think it was like very sexy or anything.
Well, why not?
Well, the shirt was a little small.
Did you wear the wig?
No, that was later at a costume party. Also, equally not a turn on. So
I don't know what she's looking for then, man. Because
me either.
God.
How about Turtles? Let's cover a couple of ones that we like. You know, like the different versions, because they had.
I don't know if you can consider all those like different sublines. I'm trying to think of one for the.
They Turtles. Were like the Universal Monsters subline, the sports subline.
Oh, okay. So like they had the Star Trek subline, and they had
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess those count as sublines for them. But you know, Turtles was one of those that kind of jumped the shark very early on, in the toy realm, right? Very popular when they first came out. That first season of the cartoon was very popular. And then Turtles got weird.
Well, I mean, that was popular through like 8 seasons, but you're right. The figure releases, because they needed constant product on the shelves. Yeah, they really got into some odd places with those toys.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I can't think of a favorite subline for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Storage shell.
Huh?
Storage shell.
Oh, the one where they fold up and go into the shell. Yeah, that one, that's kind of cool. I mean, if we're counting that as not like a version, but actually as a subline, then yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, number one for me. That I like that the best. I love the idea of being able to store things in the shell. But you know, they had the ones where they like wacky action, where you wind something up and then like a wrist would just turn 360. You had like the crap transforming versions of the Ninja Turtles, and they just looked horrible. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that could have made it worse is if one of them had like a Punisher transformer gun penis, right?
Which apparently it was a big thing back then, right? All the toys had gun penises.
But like all these turtles that transformed, and they had to be so big and bulky just to fit the joints and stuff, and they just looked absolutely ridiculous.
They did. They were ludicrous. They were absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, actually, I was not a fan of most of their sublines. I thought most of them were like junk to some degree.
Yeah, after that second wave of figures, like, because you know, the first wave had, of course, the Turtle, Splinter, April, Shredder, and I think the Foot Soldier. The second one had like Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang,
Baxter.
Yeah, Baxter. After that one, then they started doing some weird stuff. And that's when I kind of fell out with the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. But then it got right back into it, right? When 1990, the movie came out, and it was like, hell yeah, Turtles are cool again.
They did have some interesting, like they did bolster it with some interesting characters like that Panda Samurai or Usagi Yojimbo.
That
Casey
one was
Jones.
good. So I will say, because Usagi Yojimbo was one of my favorite characters that has come out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or otherwise, right? So by the same creators, different world, but then they crossed worlds, and now Usagi Yojimbo is part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, even from the very beginning in the cartoon. One of my favorite characters.
I liked Metalhead. I thought that was cool.
Leatherhead was cool too. The Crocodile Cajun,
Rat King. So I mean, there was a lot of good individual characters, but when they started like birthday party turtles,
yeah, no thanks.
Are you gonna do birthday party turtles here?
Clown turtles.
Some of them they
football
had
turtle,
expressions.
space suit
stars.
turtle.
I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't have like heroes of sanitation turtles, where one guy's a plumber, one guy drives a garbage truck. I mean, it would make sense since they live in the sewer,
right? But I understand the position that they were in. You know, you can definitely tell that the well of ideas was running dry towards the very end of those things. It was just not good. But that first two waves was phenomenal. I mean, great toys to play in. I love the world that the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles created. So ideal, when you're a 13-year-old. Well, back then when you were a 13-year-old boy, not now, but great toy line to have and collect. So
yeah, it took a lot of the elements of Masters of the Universe from the colorful characters and kind of the scale and size, and then it just freshened it up. I mean, when you first heard the name Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, when I first heard it, I'm like, stupid. I want G.I. Joe. And then you see the effing cartoon, and then suddenly it all has to be turtles.
Yeah, and it feels like they blew half of their freaking animation budget on that opening, because that opening rocks.
Yeah, or you see the movie, and then you're right back into turtles again.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right, so we got to go into our next commercial break. We'll see what retro commercial I can dig up after this one, and we'll be right back.
Don't I know you? Nice shoes. Are you sure we haven't met before? Now, where's that Tour de France thing? Nice shoes. I knew I should have taken the right turn at Albuquerque. Have you ever been to L.A.? Oh, don't surf. That's what you think, dudes. Might you all join me in a spot of tea? Where'd you play your college ball? What is he doing here?
I thought this was another Bono's commercial.
Has anyone seen Bo's ball? I know, Kansas City. Nice shoes. Nice shoes. You ever play with Bo Diddley?
We're back after our last commercial break.
We are returned for the final segment. Yes. So yeah, we're just talking about the turtles and how they had a bunch of weird sublines for that.
So let's go. The initial Star Wars did not have sublines, so to speak, but the Power of the Force 2 did kind of have some weird things that came out afterward. So
that's like a real like highs and lows kind of a deal with that.
It was. I'm actually a lover of the Power of the Force 2 toy line. I think it was a great toy line to have. The first ones were kind of steroided out, right? That first wave on the orange cards.
Are you talking about Power of the Force 2? Sorry, I was thinking Power of the Force 1.
No.
Where we got like really cool stuff, and then we got some weird shit like the Imperial Dignitary.
No. I'm talking about Power of the Force 2. So it's one of those. It's a hit and miss with a lot of collectors. You either really like it or you think it's a dog turd, right?
Yeah, so, my new favorite Star Wars name, Han Swolo. Yeah.
That's definitely what they look
The
like.
Millennium Falcon.
That first release,
my hand.
Luke Skywalker was like, I'm Mr. Pectacular. Look at my pecs.
That's Mr. Skywalker to you. I went to the Khan School of Chest Building.
I need to go to Tashi Station, pick up some steroids.
Like so open about it. Yeah, like, do you have steroids here? Oh, that's Mos Eisley.
That's
We got them everywhere over there.
That's the bad part of tattooing. No, okay, so like the Power of the Force 2, like I said, it's a hit and miss line. Some people love it, some people don't. I do. I absolutely do like it. But they did come out with some sublines in that one, which were really kind of interesting because they went places that Star Wars hadn't gone before for their toys, particularly into the expanded universe sublines. So we did get things like Shadows of the Empire. We got a toy run for Shadows of the Empire, which is very huge back then. Brought Star Wars kind of back into the limelight. It got a video game, it got a novel, it got, you know, a soundtrack, I think, even to it. So in action figures, they re-released some of the older vehicles back into the Shadows of the Empire toy line, like Slave One, also known as Boba Fett spaceship nowadays. But it came out with some really cool, like we got to see swoop bikes for the first time in toy form in that.
And to be honest with you, Dash Rendar is a terrific character design.
Oh yeah, he's totally cool.
Yeah, that was a great figure.
Yeah. So for Star Wars, could kind of come late to the game for sublines. Kind of knocked it out of the park with that one, as far as I'm concerned. For that Shadows of the Empire subline was great.
Yeah, it kind of took Hasbro. It kind of took them like 2 to 3 lines in before they really started taking a look at the sculpting and what they were doing. But then they gave us all these EU characters like Thrawn and the Dark Trooper, Mara Jade, and they were super cool. Darth Vader with removable helmet, and removable hand. Yeah.
So, but you know, like so if we stick with sublines, then they did have the other expanded universe ones that came out for it too. So,
like Shadows of the Empire, or
we just said that one.
What was the one when Luke went bad? I didn't like that one.
Oh, that was
Dark Empire.
But yeah, Dark Empire, which he kind of had a Vader-esque kind of look to him.
Yeah, his suit looked like something out of Beetlejuice.
Yeah. The ones I wish they would have done, which they never did, was the Jedi Academy trilogy. I really wanted to see figures from that. I wanted to see Exar Kun. I wanted to see Kip Duran. You know, I wanted to see what maybe a Masasi warrior that they had the spirits of from there back in the temple. So that would have been a really cool expanded universe thing to go for Power of the Force. But you know, Power of the Force just kept going, or Power of the Force 2, sorry, just kept going and going and going, and gave us some really good figures. But that was pre-modern figure era, right? We were still 5 points of articulation. People were still kind of into that, you know, Star Wars love haze. And then they got into the modern figure phase, which were multiple points of articulation, 22, 23 points of articulation, some up even upwards to 30 points of articulation, which started ruining the figures in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I was looking at some upcoming wrestling figures, and the way that the articulation cuts are done, it just is such a drag. It takes away from the figure. You got to cover it up with something like ring gear or different types of things. And that's a really good discussion for probably another podcast. Is when is too much?
Yeah,
but yeah, so a lot of those figures, and then they it's all like tension joints, and the kids play with them for 10 minutes and then the joints start to wear out and you got these floppy, weird, loose figures. Yeah.
Oh man, Marvel was the ultimate culprit when it came to that. When they started releasing all their figures back in the day, when the new articulation started to hit, so many of their figures would be floppy right out of the packaging. You'd open it up and they would be.
Yeah, I mean, do you really need like an octuple elbow joint?
No,
like,
no.
Seriously. Anyway,
But yeah,
What were those Star Wars figures called that were like static statues? Was that called like Unleashed?
oh yeah, Star Wars Unleashed.
Not a big fan of those.
Yeah, some of them were cool. Like I really like the Jedi Luke one where he's got his green lightsaber and it has that slashing effect. I'm not really heavy into statues anyway. I'm not a big. I don't like them. I'm a toy collector. I want to be able to play with what it is that I bought, and it's hard to play with a statue, man. Come on.
Do sublines get better than the Black Series?
I'm trying to think of sublines in the Black Series. Black Series was itself.
I mean, I guess the Black Series is its own deal,
its
right?
own subline, right?
But,
yeah.
I mean, like that's probably one of the things that's not main product offering lines of toys. It's just terrific. Black Series is almost always great.
Yeah, when toy companies started to go the 6-inch route as the standard size for figures these days, with the 3 1/4 figures being now not the standard as they were, I think that was a step up. I do, because we have a lot of good sculptors out there, and the 6-inch allows those sculptors to really bring out the detail and make those figures really pop. So I think, when when Star Wars went the 6-inch figure route, it was a good idea. It was, and everybody kind of followed suit after that.
Yeah, and when they started painting the head sculpts instead of having it be that translucent skin type plastic, they got infinitely better.
Yep. So I like those. I'm trying to think. Let's see what other ones. What other toy lines do we have that have good stuff?
Well, I mean, we got G.I. Joe looming at the
that's true. We haven't talked about G.I. Joe. So G.I. Joe would probably be the master of sublines, because that's what they were, right? Each wave kind of had its own, and there were some stinkers, right? Let's get some of the stinkers out of the way. So like what was the last one?
What was the first big subline that they did? Was that Battle Force 2000?
I'm trying to think if there was one before that.
I don't think.
I don't know if the Brazil one was before or after.
Special Mission Brazil. Let's put that in its own category, because that's like a gift set.
Okay, all right.
Listen and fun tripwire. Maybe
Battle Force may have been the first one.
It could be, or it could have been Night Force.
Was Night Force before Battle Force?
I'm trying to remember in the wave releases, because Night Force had like Shockwave and Falcon. So maybe Battle Force 2000 was the first one. But now we're talking about two sublines. One very cool, one awful,
one completely awful, one man. The Battle Force 2000 was such a letdown. It's such a letdown that they killed all the characters in the comics all at once.
Yeah. So I'm gonna confess this to you, Doug, and everybody who's listening. When Battle Force 2000 commercials first started coming on, I was like, "Oh, no way! That's really cool," because the commercial goes, "Battle Force 2000, they fucking with a bunch of vehicles, block thing. Then it rolls around and you can't tell what's a fucking jet and a turret.
You can combine all the vehicles." No, you can't. Yeah. Shut up.
When I first saw that, I'm like, man, I'm gonna save all my allowances and get all those vehicles to put together. But it's like the Franken crap, right?
It was
like gun pod. Tank,
and they didn't combine. They sat next to each other.
God, what a stinky piece of crap line Battle Force was.
Their helmets were dumb. Their accessories were over. Like the guy with a huge gun.
Yeah, that broke the thumbs off. Yeah. Like one or two designs were cool, and the rest literally looked like the core.
Yeah, they did. They seriously did.
God, they were bad.
Not happy with that. But okay, so sublines from G.I. Joe. Another bad one. We'll talk about the bad one. What was the one towards the end where they were like aliens and whatever?
Mega Marines or animals?
Yeah, both of them.
Animals.
Both of them. No thanks.
I didn't like any of the Space Joe stuff. None of that Star Brigade or any of it. I thought they all looked so stupid in those dumb, oversized space suits with like the rocket shooting arms.
Yeah.
I mean, interestingly enough, we got a really weird Duke that looked old. but he had like the classic Duke hair, and you got like classic Duke in Star Brigade. But the figures are so awful, it's almost like you don't want to own them.
Yeah. Some of the, okay, so a subline I did like, well, I liked the figures and most of the accessories, let's say, was the, what was it, the Battle Core, right?
Oh, okay.
had
So
to go-
neon stuff. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
So
and they
the-
came with, like sprues of weapons. Yeah.
Yeah. So they came with, you know, and most of the weapons had been are from another figure in a previous wave. But I did like the designs of some of those figures. They were really cool. I liked the Wild Bill that came out. I liked the Iceberg. Got Colonel Courage from that line as well.
That's a good figure. Yeah.
So there were some really good ones. I just was never a fan of the big oversized bazooka spring with the thing that shot out. I was not a fan of that. I didn't like that. So when I got him back in the day, that was the first accessory to disappear. Like, that's garbage. I'm not using that.
What I liked about it was we had G.I. Joe the movie, and then the line tapered down after that, and Sunbow was done, and then the Deke cartoons came on. So Battle Corps took a lot of classic characters like Roadblock and Duke and all these, like Cobra Commander and Destro, who had not really been like in the limelight near the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they did kind of give us a re-intro to those characters. I thought that was cool. Like if you were having like your third or fourth G.I. Joe phase and you wanted some of those core characters. I mean, there was some weird neon colors, but there was a lot of good ones in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then something just weird happened. It like spiraled out of control and you got a bunch of odd.
Well, it's what happens at the end of any toy line, right? They start putting anything out to try to see what sticks in hopes that they can squeeze another year out of it. And then it just dies, right? So that's what happened with G.I. Joe. When we got into 1993, 1994, nothing was working. The line was dying. Kids weren't interested anymore. It was a real hard sell. So it was just time to let it go.
How do you feel about Night Force?
Night Force is actually really cool. So
I liked him too.
Night Force was one of those where it was like we got the classic characters, but we got them in those really cool gray and black motifs.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I would argue that Night Force Shockwave is cooler than regular release Shockwave.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the Night Force characters are better than probably their initial release.
Didn't they have a Crazy Legs that didn't suck?
Yeah, he wasn't bright red.
A target floating down there on his parachute.
Gonna get behind enemy lines and gonna.
Yeah,
Crazy Legs got taken out.
Meanwhile, you have like Ripcord, who's perfectly fine, but Crazy Legs toast.
Ripcord's like, nah, it's okay. I'll jump after Crazy Legs. It's cool.
Yeah, he wears that sweet camo outfit. So Night Force cool, Battle Force 2000 sucked.
Yeah.
Python Patrol and Tiger Force, I'm on the fence with those because they both have some okay designs. Like Tiger Force Flint was really cool. I kind of like Tiger Force Duke with the inverse colors, the khaki pants and the green shirt, but the weird brown hair thing. But then there was some really dumb ones too. Like Tiger Force Dusty didn't look good.
Well, I found out later in life, as I got older, so I was not a fan of the Tiger Force line when it initially came out. But I found out later in life that there were actual real military units that were decked out in those tiger type of color motifs with the bright yellow and the teeth and a lot of yellow and red on their aircraft and things like that. So that's what G.I. Joe was trying to do, was trying to mold it after those things that they saw. But then they just kind of went way crazy with it, right? And they just everything was a Tiger Force after that point.
Some of it did work, and then some of it didn't work very well.
Right.
Kondo was a cool figure, I thought, in Tiger Force.
Yeah.
And what it did do though is if you missed your opportunity for a Flint or for a Dusty or something, this was their way of sort of like churning them back out and using those assets to make more money for Hasbro. So I was actually thankful to be able to get some of those. Like you missed Bazooka, And that figure is reasonably okay of Bazooka that's in there. The Cobra guy is just the
So the
Python
Python Patrol was actually probably the better of the two, because it fit with Cobra more, I think. So the scale look of a lot of the things on the vehicles, like the repainted Conquest X30. What's the one? Oh gosh, I had it in my head.
And that was a full wave of troop builders.
Yeah. I mean, and they were cool looking too. I liked like the blood red kind of look on some of them. So I think it worked much better for Cobra than Tiger Force did for G.I. Joe, at least in my opinion.
How about Iron Grenadiers?
Oh heck yeah, dude! Destro as a main bad guy with his own army and his own. He's no longer waiting for Cobra to pay him back. He's like, nah, screw it, Cobra. I'm gonna take over the world.
Yeah, that Destro design is off the chain. That is a great design.
Yeah, I like that big bulky black leather look, and the Iron Grenadiers themselves were just way better than the Cobra Troopers. They felt like stormtroopers, right?
Yeah, they had the like environmental mask, and they came with that sweet Uzi. But then he had like Voltar.
Yeah, which was one of his generals.
Okay, I will say this: the Iron Grenadiers, cool vehicles.
Yeah.
And some of them had interactivity with each other, like you could land Destro's despoiler on the demon, and hook it in. So I actually thought that line worked out really, really good. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Slaughter's Marauders.
Yeah, that's a great one. That was another one. The only problem with Slaughter's Marauders is not the idea, but it was the manufacturing of them. The plastics. The plastic was very brittle. Even way back then. And so the first thing that would happen is the kids we'd open them up and then try to put their accessories in their hand, and their thumb would just pop right off right away. Right.
Yeah.
And then the crotch, they try to move their legs to do, and crotch, you get instant crotch pop. Right. So
I was just going to mention being demanded.
Yeah. You got no thumbs and you got no crotch, guys. Sorry.
completely neutered. Yeah. You'd put the set down, and all of a sudden that.
Yeah,
which is funny when you're a kid. When you see it, it's actually like at some like childish level, kind of a funny thing, or an adult level, it's pretty funny still.
But if we look at it from the idea point of view, a great idea, right? Slaughter is a very marketable character, very good one, very macho, very big, very muscular, very in your face type of character. And so to have him training other G.I. Joes and bringing them into his world, right? He'd pick big ones to kind of be like that. Low light is great.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the assortment of figures that you got in there, Mutton, Junkyard, Spirit, Low Light, great figures.
Yeah, and great idea.
I didn't really like the Sergeant Slaughter figure that much with the blue glasses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was based off of his special order mold, the mail away figure. So he was wearing like tights. Yeah, I'd always kind of wish they had taken the Triple T version with those fatigues and done a night or a Slaughter Marauder one with that. But that was actually a really cool subline. I thought that worked out really, really good.
I think so too. Yeah. G.I. Joe is full of a lot of hit and miss stuff, right? I mean, everybody I think can agree that Battle Force 2000 is just the biggest stinker of all time when it comes to what the amount of marketing they put behind it versus what it really was not balanced at all. You thought it was going to be something really good, and then it just turned out to be the worst thing imaginable.
Well, what about this is one that I don't like, but I think you might like it. Sky Patrol.
Oh, the silver.
I liked some of the figures. I thought some of the figures were really neat, but the vehicles being in full vac metal, and then you had the Havoc. Sky Patrol drives a Havoc.
It's got the little flying thing in the back.
Oh my God. Okay.
No. Okay.
But
so
that Sky Raven, it was a giant shiny Raven.
Dude, you know me in vac metal.
I know how you feel about it.
Vac metal and crystal and see-through blue plastic, man. It's you can do anything. You can't go wrong, in my opinion, with that. Even though you can go wrong, and Sky Patrol overdid it.
Well, they all came with parachutes. That was kind of neat.
I guess that's cool. Yeah. Yeah. The shark is probably my favorite of the line. I know. If I was to pick my favorite of which one it is, I think it would be the shark. The shark itself is a really cool vehicle. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like it because the figure has to lay down face first, and I just thought it was one of the very first GI Joe that I remember being super excited when I saw the commercial for Deep Six. And
Skyhawk, that was my favorite.
That was a good one. That one came in the Sky Patrol too. So
yeah,
but I like the shark. The shark is will always be one of my favorite vehicles. So shiny shark.
I knew it would be a sticking point for you talking about that one.
I mean, it's not my favorite. I mean, I'll agree with you. It's not the best, but you know, it appealed to people like me who like see shiny stuff. Ooh, shiny! I like that.
How about the DEF, Drug Enforcement Force, or whatever that was? You remember it was that line? They had the headman and the headhunters.
Yes, yeah.
There was a bunch of weird like neon redesigns. I actually kind of like the headman suit. I wanted to make a Golgo 13 figure with that suit.
Oh, I can see doing that. Yeah. No, the DEF was really, really dumb. And it was one of the things that GI Joe, like I said, they were reaching at straws, right? They were trying to do anything they can think of. And then GI Joe went through that whole rebranding towards the end, where it was no longer a real American hero; it was the international hero. To where they tried to appeal to a larger market, and I feel that didn't work. So,
what was that team of like toxic garbage men called? And you had Flint and Cesspool and
Eco Warriors,
Eco Force or something.
Eco Force, yeah. Yeah, and then the bad guys had the septic tank. And I thought, okay, I thought that was kind of a fun play on words.
That thing smells like shit.
Oh God. But yeah, GI Joe, there's winners and there's losers, and towards the end of the line it's mostly losers, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well, I think we got a good cross section of sublines, so
I think so.
Anybody out there watching, you got some suggestions on sublines we missed? I know there's more out there, but you know, without spending the next 3 to 4 hours dissecting everything.
Well,
I think
we never talked about any of the girl lines, like Cabbage Patch. Cabbage Patch had preemies.
Oh,
you know, I'm not a girl, and I did not go for the girl toys back then, but you know, some people may see. It's okay.
Preemies, yes. Pound purries instead of pound puppies.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, the boy toys of the day weren't the only ones to do it. So girl toys did. Barbie, I think, is a big one for sublines, right? Oh my god.
Oh, everything is a variation or subline for Barbie. Yeah. Every year it's freshed out, like Barbie and the Rockers, Barbie the dog walker who comes with a dog that actually like poops shit out of it.
We found one of those for my daughter back in the day when she was like 6 years old. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They're marketing that this dog can take a crap?
Yeah, I actually like that one. That's the only Barbie I like. Believe it or not.
It pooped out little like what are they called? Like little the little bean things that look like poop. I was afraid my daughter was gonna think it was candy, and I took them away from her.
Did you ever try one?
No, dude, it's plastic.
I know. I think you could put Tic Tacs in there, and I think it worked.
That's what they were, the size of Tic Tacs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seriously, when I saw that and we bought that for my daughter, I was like, hold on, they're marketing that the dog can take a crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if they got babies that piss, then they should have a Barbie dog that poops. That's fine.
Girl toy lines are way weirder than boy toy lines, man.
Yeah, well, they don't exactly have like Barbie Force 2000, thankfully.
It would have been better than GI Joe's.
I'm sure. I'm very sure better executed. Yeah.
All right, I think that's a good place to stop. So yeah, like Steve said, if there's some sublines that we didn't think of, or some other toy lines that have some pretty cool ones, let us know in the comments. Let us know what you thought of our ideas. Were they stinkers or were they good? And let us know if there's something that you'd like for us to talk about and discuss. Steve and I like to come up with different topics for our weekly discussion. So if there's things you want to hear us talk about, throw it in the comments and we'll give it a shot. We'll talk about anything once.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, we'll see everybody out in the toy aisles.
See you, everybody.